so I should have some kind of... Okay, it looks like we might be live again. I'm gonna, of course, edit all this out.
Yeah.
Okay, I do see us live. Okay, so my power had just gone out for all of luckily 5 minutes, so that's what happened there. But we are gonna pick up the show right where we left off. So the other release we had this week was the Star Wars Edge of Balance manga, part of the High Republic. So this is the first time Lucasfilm has put out manga as far as a brand new story. They've done some kind of retellings of other books and novels, but this is the first time we get like an original story in manga form. So I really enjoyed that. It's about a new character named Lily, and she's a Jedi Knight, and just taking care of all these different kind of refugees of the great disaster. Besides that, we also got Star Wars Insider issue number 205. They have a short story in there. Of course, Starlight, we have a character dealing with, believe it or not, action figures of Jedi, right? So there's this guy who's smuggling in like weapons, but he's masquerading the weapons as having like on top of the weapons, he has figures of Avar Chris and stuff like that. So like the one Trandoshan Jedi skier is like, why do you have action figures of us in your cart? We do not want these here, kind of thing. So that was kind of funny because in my back of my head, I'm like, Hasbro, what are you guys doing? Like this has been out for almost a year and you guys don't have any High Republic toys out yet. Like, come on, get on it. Like the damn story is talking about this stuff and you guys don't even have it on the shelves yet. But that's a whole nother discussion for another day with how Hasbro's been handling Star Wars compared to Marvel. And finally, on the comics front of things, we are continuing with the War of the Bounty Hunter series. We have War of the Bounty Hunters issue number 4 out of 5. So next month is the final month for this series. And then it'll ramp into the Crimson Reign miniseries. But for now, War of the Bounty Hunters 4 has Luke basically luring Darth Vader away from Han Solo in a TIE X-Wing battle. You have Ballard Valance and Boba Fett teaming up to get Han Solo and Carbonite, and a lot of other cool things happening there. You also have Dr. Aphra issue number 14. She teams up with her mortal enemy, essentially, who is Just Lucky, who left her for dead in a prior comic issue, and they're trying to get out of the Vermilion, which is the headquarters ship of Kira of the Crimson Dawn. And then we finally have Star Wars Adventures issue number 9, which has a story about Mace Windu and some clones dealing with ghosts, but are they really ghosts? Because by the end of it, it seems like Count Dooku's pulling the strings. And we also have a Han Solo being lured by Boba Fett story in there. So yes, after all that, that is everything that did come out this week in Star Wars, and that's a lot of money that I dropped on this stuff. But hey, you know what? I got to tell you guys about it, so there you go.
I was about to say, Chris, like, how does the girlfriend feel about you buying all that stuff?
She doesn't really quite know to the extent, but
Okay.
I guess she will now because she listens to the podcast, so she's gonna get a kick out of that.
My fault. Didn't mean to get you in trouble.
So anyway, the first big bit of news, I know there's a very, very small subset of people that are probably going to give a crap about the story, but since I'm a fan and I'm running this podcast, I'm talking about it anyway. So we have a brand new expansion for Star Wars Legion, which is the miniature game I play. And the cool thing about it is they're bringing in another faction, Shadow Collective. So yeah, they put out a cool trailer, Atomic Mass Games. We're going to get the Pike Syndicate. We're going to get the Black Sun Syndicate. We're going to get the Maul DeLoreans and even a revisioned Maul himself with the Dark Saber. So very excited about that. I'm probably going to put out a whole nother separate video really going into the details. For those of you that are interested, you can look out for that video coming out later this weekend because I don't even know all the details. They're going to tell us in their live stream tomorrow. There's like this mini extravaganza thing, which is like their online press conference thing that they've been doing over the last couple days. So hopefully I'll have more stuff to tell you guys tomorrow, because I do want to try to dabble in Star Wars Legion again, because I know there's a pretty good following of you guys on the channel that were really liking those videos back in the day, but life got busy. So maybe I'll try doing more of those videos in the future. So just excited to see basically the scum and villainy come to Legion, because they've been involved with X-Wing. They've had the scum and villainy in there. We have Alex Elkins asking, did you guys see that there's going to be a Mando DLC in the Skywalker Saga Lego game? Oh yeah, didn't you tell me about that, Ben?
Oh yeah, I saw. So it popped up this week from a like a Lego news website. It seemed reputable and everything and whatnot. So basically, we'd been speculating. I mean, look, I mean, literally last week on the podcast, we just talked about it. Maybe the reason Lego got delayed is due to Mando, and then now this news about the Lego game comes out that for the Skywalker saga, the DLC is going to be Mando Season 2. So, I feel like they chose that, of course, just because it's more, more potential for, of course, characters, because you have all these cameos appearing. So it makes perfect sense for a Lego game to introduce the second season of Mando, because, then you have all the different Lego minifigures to play as, whether it be Boba, like, we'll be able to play as like, most likely, obviously Boba Fett, but then, probably Boba in his Tusken garb, and a Bo-Katan and Ahsoka and all those people, maybe even the Frog Lady. So I don't know. I think it's great, and it makes perfect sense now why the Skywalker saga was delayed.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there was another reason why it was delayed, and at this point they're like, well, we can't release it this year because we only release like one AAA Star Wars game a year, and we have Squadrons ready to go. So what we'll do is we'll put out Squadrons first, and then they were probably like, okay, that's cool, and then they realized like how bad COVID affects making video games, like everybody remote, and they're like, yeah, we can't do this anywhere near the time frame. So, but then they're like, well, since we can't get it out, like, let's just try to throw in some other stuff there to keep people happy when the game does come out. So I think just a combination between scheduling and COVID, they had to push things back. And then it's just like, all right, let's just throw them a bone. And since we've had other Star Wars content come out that we didn't expect to be out because we should have been out by now, yeah, let's just throw that in there as well. So yeah, more content is just going to have more playtime, more characters to play with. There's several hundred characters already announced, so that's at least a couple dozen if they can put in, I guess, season 1 and 2, because you said season 2, but I mean, if they're gonna have season 2, they're gonna have season 1, I would assume.
Oh yeah, I would assume. And again, it just falls on, are they gonna do? Is it like season 2 where they'll do like highlight levels? Because the way the original Lego games did it, it was more moments than for the very first Lego game, for example, you didn't play through all of A New Hope. All you played was the siege of the Tantive 4 from the beginning of episode 4. So like, that, you might be playing moments. So I could see there a potential point of the game where, you might like, because you got to think about it from a Lego perspective. What would be good moments for Star Wars the Lego game? I feel like, of course, the first episode with the Crate Dragon, that'd be a really good one. The Bo-Katan one, probably just because you'll have plenty of Mandalorian like minifigures options. And then the Ahsoka one, of course, the Boba Fett action sequence. And then, of course, the Luke, the ending battle, or the season finale of Mando Season 2, of course, would be one, just because you have a potential to make it real fun with Luke and the Dark Troopers and everything, like in Lego form.
I don't know, man.
Like,
the way the Mandalorian is sectioned, we've talked about this before, where like every damn episode almost is like a video game. I could literally see like every episode, like the second episode in the ice caves with the spiders. Like that'd be such a great episode, just running through, running and gunning, taking out the spiders.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
the siege, when they go and they're on, I could see like an on the rails like driving mission when you're like playing as Cara Dune, or you're playing as what's his name, like driving through the canyons and the TIE fighters are coming after you. Like there's so many awesome moments. There's that moment in episode 7 when they're on top of the train thing, or the
Mayfeld,
the vehicle with Mayfeld, and they're fighting. He's fighting all the guys, kicking them off. Like that'd be such a great action.
That was another point I was going to bring up as well, is at least one mission will have to be vehicles, because there's always a vehicle mission, like 1 or 2 vehicle missions. I mean, now that we've talked this out, I feel like they probably are going to end up just putting all of Mando Season 2, just because it mixes in all the things you want for Lego, whether it be action, vehicle type missions, as you said, whether it be the Carl Weathers episode or the Mayfeld episode, and then of course like the really good iconic moments. And of course the iconic moment would either be the like the Luke moment, and then I feel like they could do a really good comedic moment with the stormtroopers running away from Boba Fett in Lego form. Like I feel like that's going to be played out really well. So yeah, I think there's definitely a good chance. Now the interesting thing will be like for like say the Ahsoka level. I wonder if they're going to give us like a little tease of Thrawn in that, like if they're going to like when she's talking to the Imperial officer chick or whatever, like Thrawn's assistant, like I wonder if she like is gonna say, "Where's Thrawn?" And like, the Lego games are pretty campy, so maybe in the background of like that room, maybe there's like literally a giant picture of a Thrawn Lego figure, or something like.
Like you're looking at him.
Yeah, it might
Yeah.
it might be our first like look at Thrawn.
Not that it would say much, because there's only so much you could see like on a Lego face. Like it would just be a
Yeah.
Lego with a blue face and be like and red eyes and be like, okay.
Yeah.
But thanks for that, Alex. See if you get active in a chat, you could even throw us a news story. We'll talk about it maybe on the spot. So
Yep.
movie you could dictate sort of from a certain degree. We're not going to let this thing go off the rails too much, but you can sort
From a
of
certain point of view.
certain point of view kind of steer us in what direction a little bit maybe. But no, getting back to the program, Star Wars Visions posters are released. We have one in Japanese and one in English. So I thought these were really cool and really striking because it's got the white background and the vivid colors that really just contrast that and really stand out. And this looks like your traditional IMAX poster for, like, let's say Rogue One. This looks a lot like the Rogue One poster with the IMAX poster, and the image is kind of just like bleeding off downward off the page. But what it does show us is the main characters from basically most of, if not all of the 9 episodes, including Ronan, who's going to get his own book. You got this trooper in the middle that looks very interesting. Like, obviously, he's not anything we've seen before, but it evokes Star Wars. So that makes me happy because obviously this is their take on it in an anime form. But the fact that they're making new designs that still fit in that Star Wars sort of mold, it definitely makes me happy. What doesn't make me happy is the fact that we have that bunny creature thing called Lupu or whatever. I know I'm hating on it so much, almost comedically. Like I really don't hate the character, but I'm just like, okay, this character has a lot to do to win me over, especially now that they're on a poster. So we're gonna see if that actually happens. But what'd you guys think about the posters? Did you get a chance to look at the posters for Star Wars Visions?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it right now. It reminds me honestly of all the sequel posters. A,
Okay.
a lot of characters, a lot of characters, very much that triangular look that they try to keep it in. And I know a lot of people had a lot of criticism. Not, I didn't say a lot of people, but I think some poster makers had a lot of criticism about how Star Wars just bunched a lot of characters in it. I feel like they're doing that here. However, the difference is we don't know who these characters are. So, and it's very mysterious also, in my opinion. Like, the guy who's the lower character with the red lightsaber, like that looks very mysterious to me. Like I said, that trooper in the middle that you mentioned, it kind of reminds me of like a Mega Man like character out of the Mega Man video games back in the day. And again, you definitely see like that anime look manga coming out in this poster. You're right, Chris, that whole little bunny creature, I'm not feeling it. It's just like, eh. But other than that, though, I mean, I don't dislike the poster at all. I think it's very nice, but I can see how it's very traditional to how Star Wars, especially with the sequel films, have done their posters the last 6 years.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now as well. I mean, there's something about like, I mean, of course they're the exact same posters, but I like the Japanese one better just because it feels more authentic, I think,
Mm-hmm.
to like anime.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, it's just like a poster. Like, I mean, I think it looks good. It looks interesting. I mean, my very first initial reaction was, this is kind of basic, but I mean, what do you expect from, a lot of it to me is like, what do you expect from like an anime or like an anime for a streaming service for one, but for two, like it's kind of how the sequel trilogy and like the Disney era posters have been, they've
Yeah.
been kind of plain, honestly. Like they really have. Like, not to like throw shade or anything. Like I thought I love the Force Awakens poster. I thought that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of them were kind of just shaky for me. So like I think this one just kind of falls into that. I think it's okay. Like if I had to rate it as a poster, if we're doing ratings for posters now, I would say this is probably a 7 out of 10. It gets you excited for it. It gets you interested. Like, oh yeah, like to me, I think the part that is kind of not jarring, but a little interesting for me is, since this is a series that is like 9 different episodes, my thing about it is that means, your poster can't be coherent in the color scheme. So like, I feel like, you have like some really dark areas of the poster, like toward the bottom half of the poster, it's more darker. Toward the top middle, it's darker. And then you have like these bright areas in the poster in